the champions. North, south, we's the champions. All road, we's the champions. So we tell them this, hey, they know that we run the roads. Represent the country when we ball them out. That's how we ball them out. Hey, we stop them out one by one. The other teams can't touch me.
A little birdie told me that not many Trinis went to work today as they stayed at home and watched this game. Hero CPL final, the Zouks against the TKR, Trinbago Knight Riders. The Knight Riders are the 2020 Hero CPL champions. They beat the Zouks by 8 wickets in the final at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Teru, but that was earlier on this Thursday. Batting first, the Zouks, they put up 154 of 19.1 overs. Karen Pollard taking 4 for 30. The Spiceman Fletcher getting 39. The Knight Riders were measured and then explosive in their run chase, making 157 for 2 with 11 balls to spare. Opener Lendl Simmons top scoring with an unbeaten 84, and with him, DM Bravo, 58 from 47 balls. We have highlights. So the two best teams in the tournament, no doubt, meeting in the final, and the TKR too strong as they maintained their unbeaten record throughout the tournament. Speaking after the final, the winning captain Karen Pollard praised the mentality of the Knight Riders.
Great feeling. We have worked really hard, for this. Last year when we sat in that dressing room in that semi-final against Barbados, you could have seen, the disappointment in the guys and each and every one of us. And when we sat down and we decided to retain, the core of our team, and we decided to have a different plan. And we had some rigorous conversations. Obviously, a couple of players, we lost them, but we sort of replaced them. And the mentality that the guys came through, even before the camp, I think these things was destined to happen, and right through the tournament, the guys just stuck it each and every time, each and every game, wanting to improve as individuals and wanting to be the best, that they can be. And I think, this one really special because of a total team effort. I think
Karen Pollard, the losing skipper, Darren Sammy, felt his batsmen just didn't do enough.
Yeah, we thought we were about 15 to 20 runs short from the start that we had, and plus we didn't completely finish our batting inning, and when you play against a side like TKR, you got to make sure you at least make full use of your overs. But we still felt we had enough when we put them under pressure in the first 6 overs. But look, these guys been playing together for a while. You showed the experience showed. Bravo and Simmons have played so much cricket together, and they held their nerve. They absorbed some pressure, and then they put it back on us.
Inspired captaincy from Sammy throughout the tournament, but Zouks just running into a unit that was that much hotter than them in the final. Joining us to recap the final and the tournament, she was in the bubble right all along. You saw her every day. You saw her when Bravo had that special moment, 500 wickets in the format. And she did that interview during the rain break. And of course, she owned a chair on the set not so long ago. Alex Jordan, how's Barbados? Troubling you. You're not in Barbados. Talk to me.
It's time to let go.
Before I even talk to you about the final, Alex, bubble life. For someone as free-spirited as you, for someone as, and you and I would understand what we're talking about, for someone as bohemian as you, how did you manage in that bubble? I was worrying about you while I was here.
Yeah, I'm sure you were, George. Yes, as you can imagine, it was very trying, difficult, but not only for me, dare I say for the players. And I think that should be taken into account when we look back at the tournament, at the general quality of the tournament. I think we all would have loved to have seen a few more great batting innings, but it is very extraordinary. I was already in, Barbados was locked down for a few months, so I had experienced that and been through the 5 stages of grief, like denial, like they're telling me where I can go, no, and then grief, and then, all these things. And the same thing happened here, especially we're in the CPL, it's the greatest party in sport, it's cricket played louder, we're in Port of Spain, right? I want you to remember Trinidad is called Trinidad and Tobago, it's called the land of fete.
Yeah.
So, being confined played, I think, a bit of a heavy role on a lot of people's spirits.
Yeah, they said that for up to recently, Greenland had the only open-air prison in the world, and I'm sure you could say, well, for this spell, Trinidad and Tobago is an open-air prison. I want to ask you, given your experiences covering CPL in the Caribbean, of course, and of course when you went to Florida for when the Tallawahs had their home base there, so you've experienced crowds here and in the USA, CPL related. You didn't have an energy source to plug into to feed off. It's a good thing it's you because you have energy all by yourself. But how different was that interacting, getting into the vibe in an atmosphere that's an atmosphere in name only? Nobody in the grounds, no energy source compared to previous years. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, great follow-up question. The same applies, I think people underestimate how important energy and vibration is, right? We talk about it, it's kind of some esoteric thing, but it's a literal thing. So you don't have energy in the stadium, you don't have people, there's no music. So, even before any link, before any interview, I found myself like really trying to hype myself up because your energy is flat. And in fact, I think you would agree in the middle and in a few parts, at the beginning and a few parts in the middle, we saw some flat matches. People are just human. So not to have the same level of energy inside the stadium was a challenge. And just more power to the CPL for sticking with the plan and putting on a tournament at all.
And Alex, nevertheless, that didn't really come across on the screen, so you did a good job in masking that and, of course, letting us feel like we were a part of the party. So we're going to move along now to the excitement. Of course, congratulations to TKR. Talk to us about this perfect season. Perfect, 12 out of 12.
Unbelievable. What can you say about TKR? And Lance made a great point that I was going to bring. I'll just reiterate. They made it with their imperfect team. Missing out big game changers like Sunil Narayan, Colin Monroe. So, more power to them. That is an extraordinarily solid team. Let's not forget the captains 4 for 30 today. Kieran Pollard, very rightly the man of the tournament. He was involved in every game in a game-changing way, and he led from in front, right? He has a man of a lot of personal power, very different style from Darren Sammy. That was interesting to see them juxtaposed in the final. But no, equally powerful. Kieran Pollard is a leader of men. And of course, he's got DJ Bravo there as well. They had everything going for them. They had form players, including Darren Michael Bravo, took some great catches in the deep as well. Lendl Simmons, hats off to him for his unbeaten 84 today. And historic, it is the first ever perfect season in a major T20 league, not just in the CPL.
Definitely, Alex. And Captain Kieran Pollard said something very important. Bravo didn't bowl today, but he said there was a psychological impact of just having DJ Bravo on the team. What did you think about that comment and just having Bravo on the team?
Absolutely right. Of course, being in the bubble is very helpful for journalists. So I kind of had an idea that Bravo was carrying an injury. And I had got word that Pollard was going to be playing him anyway. Yes, because he brings an aura, not only to his teammates, but he brings an aura of fear to his opponents. DJ Bravo wins tournaments. He doesn't just play in tournaments. Look, I think George is your man. He'll have the stat. But Bravo has won a lot of T20 tournaments, his teams.
Yeah. Alex, another thing that the CPL did this year, which is very commendable, is, for every 6 that the players hit, they gave $50 US. Yes, we did have low-scoring tournaments, but I think you all wrapped up around 18,000, if I'm correct. That's going to go to the COVID-19 affected people.
Yes, yeah. I mean, what an incredible initiative and so important. CPL does something every year. I remember we did hurricane relief when we had that terrible hurricane. COVID relief is so important because, what we've learned in this pandemic is the truth that even in something like a pandemic that you might think is a leveler and affects everyone, it affects poor and disenfranchised people more. So really wonderful that we had that initiative and that money goes towards helping people's livelihoods, which of course is much bigger than the game of cricket. I want to say a special shout out as well to the St. Lucia Zouks and their sponsor in Tibet. They did a separate fundraising event that bought computers for children in need in St. Lucia. So all around, cricket for good.
Alex, I felt a bit left out from the excitement, looking at TKR running out on the field. I remember, when we won before, how, that feeling inside of me. What's the feeling in the camp right now?
Oh my gosh, DJ Bravo right now is like the band manager from maybe when they had 5 or 6 runs to get.
Yeah.
I was standing right by the TKR dugout, and Bravo was getting very mouthy with the Zouks, right? And wondering, wait, where'd he fire? I thought Zouks on fire, And then, of course, when they hit the winning runs, absolute jubilation for them. He lost his voice. He was singing so much. And people were jumping around. Of course, it's not the regular energy of a regular final, but believe me, TKR and TKR fans celebrating everywhere. It was actually really lovely when the television production crew were leaving the ground. We have police escort, just like the team buses, and we look like a team bus. As you come out of the ground, TKR fans lined in the, outside of their cars, and when we got near to the hotel, TKR fans lined coming up to the hotel. So the people of Trinidad and Tobago have every right to show off on we today.
All right, Alex, great to be talking to you again. We saw a splendid performance by the TKR throughout the tournament. Today, Lendl Simmons and Darren Bravo were brilliant in taking any hopes away from the Zouks. You've already registered the comments on Kyron Pollard, the monster image he has as a captain and the way he performed this season himself, and Darren Bravo, the only batsman with an average of over 50 in the tournament, and Pollard, the only player with a strike rate of over 200. So the TKR's performance, well documented. But talk to us about the Zouks and the improvement that they've shown this year. They failed to make the playoffs last year. They failed to make the playoffs the year before that. 3 years ago, they didn't win a single match. And this year, they went into the final based on form with hopes of toppling the TKR.
Yeah, Lance, listen, total congratulations to the Zouks. This is a victory to the Zouks. If I am to quote Drake, they started from the bottom, now they're here, right? Top of the pile, really incredible performance. The Zouks were an exciting team to watch this tournament for a number of reasons. They brought energy and music and fire to their performances. It was a real team effort. And of course, the Afghanistan internationals bringing so much to that team, Mohammad Nabi particularly. And I think Nabi not firing, down the bottom there today was part of the issue. The tailenders, they made no run. So that was unfortunate. Of course, Darren Sammy himself, he would have wanted more from his individual performance. But absolute credit to the Zouks. I really liked Fletcher's 39 off 27 today. He hasn't had a form season, so he stood up on the last day. Roston Chase has been a revelation, right? We can forget now him only being considered a one-day player. He had some very good innings. And of course, I love Javel Glenn. I get a lot of pressure from my fellow commentators because he really stole my heart. I vote him most improved cricketer in the CPL from last year. We only knew him really as a big hitter at the bottom of the order for Jamaica Talawas. He never really played any role, but this year he brought so much energy and effort, and he looked so much fitter. And of course, he won some games for St. Lucia Zouks. So they were great to watch. Darren Sammy, what is left to say about him as a leader? If any West Indian fan might have questioned his inclusion in the West Indies team in the dying years, I hope you see the man's absolute value, a tremendous leader of men. I really enjoyed his captaincy. And of course, Andy Flower, who is a giant, really in cricket anyway, he really gelled well with Sammy and made that team something to reckon with this year. Yeah. They just met up on a really, really strong TKR.
Yeah, and just to touch on the issue of the bubble again and the experience of covering a tournament where that was so different. Overseas commentators, your colleagues on the mic, Danny Morrison, we know how exciting he is as a commentator. And the ones coming in from overseas, how did they enjoy themselves, and how much did they embrace the difference in the CPL this year? I'm a Danny Morrison fan.
Yeah, Danny's a great guy and good, good call, because of course Danny, other than me, Danny would be missing the crowd the most. He loves to get on the gas, right? So the truth is, I saw him sort of make his own energy. And truthfully, we had to make the best of it here at the hotel. Some nights we got together, had a few drinks, played some tunes, tried to rev up our spirits. In fact, one night, so desperate was I showered and got ready and pretended I was going to the Avenue So then I went outside my door. I saw the Barbados Tridents watching basketball. I was like, all right, this is the first stop. This is a sports bar. And then I went upstairs to the lobby and I saw the Kiwis drinking wine. I'm like, okay, this is level number 1 here. This is the wine area. But I never found any dance floor. You know, that should tell you the whole story.
Oh my goodness. Simulating the excitement that you missed so much. I feel your pain, my friend. Take it easy. Good job. Very, very good job. Very, very well. As Mariah said, I want to endorse those comments. Based on the energy you transmitted, we weren't missing anything at all. So very, very good from you. And if there's anybody who walks around with their own energy source in the case of an emergency, and the whole CPL was an emergency, it would have been you. So I'm happy that you were the one in that position. All right, so well done, and we'll talk again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Alex Jordan there, she marshaled the CPL coverage. It was, as she said, there were a couple flat games, but you have those in every competition, whatever the duration. But all in all, the CPL 2020 was fantastic given the circumstances in which it was played and the manner in which the TKR did it. Look, they ran from the front. They were in front from the first whistle, and they never looked back, and they never looked like being reeled in by the crowd. That was impressive. Let's take a break. Congratulations, Polly and his men.
Champions is back.